Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the Digoo DG-TH11300. This is an HD weather station that retails for under $30 as an exclusive on GearBest.com. Similar to the Comma weather station that we saw a week ago, this one uses a sensor that you can mount outdoors or indoors to monitor the temperature both inside and outside of a house. Now what's interesting about this model is it has an inverted or a negative color screen, so it looks a bit more classy and interesting. Compared to the Comma weather station, it also has a larger display in general, which may seem more expensive or classy if you display it on a desk somewhere in your house. Otherwise, if we take a quick look, it sees that it supports up to 3 external sensors, which is interesting. And otherwise, the back just features some basic specifications, including the temperature range that it can read, 30 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, and humidity range. The graphics that's capable of showing for weather include sunny, partly cloudy, cloudy, rainy, stormy, and frozen. Otherwise, it can also be used as a traditional alarm clock, so you can set up to 2 dual alarms with a snooze function on the very top. So you can use this by your desk or by your bed, and it also shows the time in 12 or 24-hour formats. In addition, it can be powered using USB cable or on 3 AA batteries. So standard batteries is always a good thing, and we like to see that. In the box, we have access to the weather station or the base unit itself, and what looks like the adapters in these side boxes. Take a closer look at that. So in the first small compartment, we have access to looks like the wireless receiver, and this one you can see uses also traditional 2 AAA batteries for it to operate as opposed to cell batteries. It can be mounted using screws onto the outside of a window or outside on the siding of your house, for instance, and there's also the Digoo logo. Finally, in the other compartment, there's access to just the charging cable, and it uses what looks like a proprietary pen-based cable for providing power and plugging it into the wall. The main unit here also comes with the instruction manual that's documented in black and white, goes through the various modes that it supports, as well as how to set it up for the first time. Taking a look at the design of the base station first, you can see that the size, I would say, is similar to a 7-inch tablet or a 7-inch digital photo frame. Overall, it's not bad as far as its construction because it has a relatively sturdy polycarbonate frame that surrounds the bezels of the display. There is the Digoo logo on the top, and again, it seems more like a tablet or something more expensive when you have it displayed on the side of your bed. The back here features the arm that you can lift up to have this be popped up at various angles, like a kickstand, ventilation grills to prevent overheating, and an array of controls for setting up the time, date, and alarm for the first time. A mono beep sensor is used for the snooze and the alarm, and finally we can pop in the 3 AA batteries if I don't want to connect it to external power. So design itself seems relatively clean and sturdy. So here we have the weather station plugged into power. If you're using AC, the screen's backlight remains on at all times, but if you're using batteries, the backlight turns off after 3 seconds to conserve on battery, and you can tap on the snooze to turn the backlight back on. You can see it's really easy to read, and this negative inverted color scheme looks quite modern and interesting. Even with the lights completely on in the room, you can still see it, and under low-lit environments, it becomes even more apparent. So very easy to see. We have access to the weather information on the top here. There's also humidity status, so this is inside the house at the moment. There are a set of sensors, including temperature and humidity, baked into the base station, and then another set that is on the wireless receiver part. So again, one that measures outside and one that measures inside. They sync up pretty well. The transmission distance is roughly 30 meters, so it can get through, I would say, 3 to 4 layers of walls without too many problems. I wouldn't try to stretch it beyond that. It would work best if you're in a room and let's say you're mounting it outside the window. It's relatively rugged, but it's not waterproof per se, so if it's heavy water is coming down, you may want to move it indoors, but it should survive wind and some other light elements without too many issues either. So as far as the transmission distance, it will sync up automatically. There's not too much of a delay, and it works as expected. Down below here we have the time and date status displayed in either 12 or 24-hour formats, and of course course, we have a visual indicator of the weather that it's predicting based on the sensors. So right now it's saying that it's cloudy with some sunlight, and that's actually very accurate right now here in the Seattle region. So pretty good as far as being a good indicator of what's happening. Obviously, this isn't Wi-Fi enabled. It doesn't connect to the internet, so there's no way to retrieve real-time live notifications. So it relies entirely on its own sensors. There's also info for day of the week, month, in addition to, again, the same temperature and humidity levels outdoors when this has been synced up, and you can turn it on or off at the bottom behind the back cover as well. There's a little switch that you can manually toggle back and forth. So everything pretty much works as expected without too many hassles. The top here features an oversized key that also dubs as the snooze, so I can really easily tap on this to also turn off the backlight, and I can also use that to snooze the alarm in the morning. The chime, which is mono, is actually surprisingly loud, and it makes for a pretty good bedside alarm clock in general for waking up in the mornings, even though it lacks a lot of the fancier features like an FM radio, a sunlight simulation feature, things like that. But first and foremost, it's meant as this weather hub that makes sense if you want to have info about your temperature indoors and outdoors, as well as humidity levels at a quick glance. And best of all, it doesn't cost that much money. When it comes to the accuracy of these sensors, I was relatively pleased. Compared to the home thermostat that I have in the house, it seemed to be within 1 degree Celsius, more or less, and outdoor temperatures were also quite similar to that. Obviously, it's going to be kind of swayed by how close you have it to the siding of your house. If that material of your house is warmer than the air around it, then the temperature reading will also be influenced by that. But all in all, the accuracy seems to be already quite good for something under 30 bucks. It's not professional grade, but it more than does the job, especially for emergency situations where you don't have access to the internet and you still want to get a quick gauge of what the weather will be like soon, in addition to the time and date and other alarm features. So you can check out more details about this all-in-one weather station alarm clock in our official written review. But for now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. This has been the Digoo inverted or negative screen weather alarm clock station.